This is Brian Drummond here, the OG voice of Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z, and you're watching Anime Secrets. It's over 9,000!
Hello everyone, how are y'all doing? Oh my goodness, this is our last panel of the weekend. I am so bummed. Y'all may see me crying backstage afterwards. I'm kidding, but thank you so much for joining us this weekend. It's been a blast, and we can't wait to see y'all again next time we do this here in Houston, Texas. Y'all have been fantastic, and welcome to the Icons of Disney panel. We have some very legendary, amazing people waiting. Are you guys ready to say hello? Awesome. Everyone, please give a big Houston welcome to the voice of Belle, Paige O'Hara. Hello, hello. And up next, we have the voice of Princess Jasmine, Linda Larkin. Hello. And last but not least, the voice of Jafar, Jonathan Freeman. Welcome. It's such an honor to have y'all here. Take a seat, get comfy. We are so excited to have y'all. Let's make sure y'all have your microphones.
I love it.
Do we have
I can't even reach
microphones,
the ground.
Mics?
It's better. You guys having fun? It's been so great, hasn't it?
Oh my goodness.
We'll share. We can share. Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you so much for joining us. It's been such a blast. I'm sure y'all heard me, but I'm like, it's been such a fun weekend. And how is Houston treating y'all so far?
So good. We're having the best time. Thank you to all of you who are here.
We're having a great time. And a bunch of us are going out to dinner tonight together and see the town a little bit. I was here back in the 80s, believe it or not. I sang at the Houston Grand Opera in 89.
That is amazing.
So it's kind of nostalgic coming back.
91, I was there.
That's right. You were there, 91? Oh my God.
When were you in Houston?
I was in 89.
Oh, we're just having a private
Yeah,
conversation.
and the Houston Grand Opera took our production to Egypt. So, and talk about trivia, the guy who plays Gaston, Richard White, was the star of Showboat, the show that we did here. So I've known him forever.
Oh, that's wonderful. And we have to mention, Jonathan, Broadway. We have to talk about you and Broadway. You are basically the only original character to be also performing in Broadway. So
On the same role?
On the same role.
That's what I understand.
Oh, I love that.
For 8 years, I did it on Broadway, and it was a terrific experience.
So cool.
It's still running, though. Go see it. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Here in Manhattan.
Yeah. Here, let's.
I also worked here in Houston, not in the opera, because I think most of you know I don't sing. I'm the speaking voice of Jasmine, but I did a play here at the Alley Theater. And yeah, it was really wonderful. So I lived here for, I think it was 3 months doing Noises Off at the Alley Theater.
It's a great city. I love this city.
Yeah.
I love that y'all know
Actually, the
your
humidity
theater.
is good for the voice.
Do you actually like the humidity here a little bit?
Have I what?
Do you like the humidity? Is that what you're saying?
For
A little
singing.
bit?
Not for the hair. I like it for skin and for singing. So, like I live in the desert in Las Vegas. It's
Oh,
like
that's
totally
true.
not good for the voice.
Oh my gosh. So all three of you have been part of legendary, memorable, historical, the list goes on, moments, not only for Disney, but in our lives, you know? And we thank you, and it's such an honor to have you guys here, sitting in Houston, chatting with us, being here. So let's give them another big round of applause, because it is huge. And it's one of those moments that I think we all get chills just knowing that you guys have done so much. But let's talk a little bit about your career, and also like when you were young, like when you were little, a kid, when you were like a child. I mean, is acting something that you guys wanted to do? Were y'all walking around making like different voices, or how did you guys get started?
For me, no. I started as a dancer, and that was really my introduction to everything in show business. But I really started in ballet, tap, and contemporary dance. And I did love Disney, and I loved my princesses who were Snow White, Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty. And I used to sit in my room with my little record player, my read-along storybooks, and you'd put a record on, press play, and read along the storybook, and I would do the princess voices with the storybooks. So I was really practicing for something that I didn't even know was a job.
I'm too old, we didn't have those then.
Oh, they
No,
did.
but I did have a record player, and I wanted to be an actress from the time I was 5 years old. So I went into acting class then, and had a voice teacher around 12. And then my mom ran the Performing Arts High School in Fort Lauderdale. So I had all of that training. By the time I was 17, I went to New York. I just said, bye, I'm going, and went to New York and refused to not make it. I just worked really hard. So, but it was something I always wanted. And like you, I had idols though. I mean, Julie Andrews. I'd sing with Julie and Barbara Streisand and Judy Garland, you know, it's, yeah.
Oh, I love that.
So cool.
Love that. What about you, Jonathan?
I remember being attracted to Disney villains since I was a kid. I always loved those characters. They were bigger than life. They had fantastic wardrobes. They had talking pets. And they always looked like they were having a lot more fun than the princes and princesses. And I'd love to see the video of you in your bedroom acting out these scenarios. I'd love to see that video.
I would love to see that video too.
That's all I ever wanted to do, so I got my wish.
Oh, I love that. And we are so happy you did, all three of you. We are so fortunate and blessed to know that it was you guys, the chosen ones.
And Linda and Jody and I, we talk all the time. So we have like the princess thing going on the phone all the time. So we're checking up on each other pretty much every week. So
Don't
but
be
that's-
modest. The princess thing is the toughest club to get into. I'm serious. And the princesses
But you're in.
they haven't signed and sealed.
And we will be opening up the mic for fan questions, so feel free to start lining up. Something too, I mean, I don't want to steal questions from people, but I do have a question. Y'all are not lining up, I will ask it. So, the audition process. Did you know what you were auditioning for? I know that Disney can be pretty secretive.
Well, we just had Little Mermaid come out, and of course, you know, Alan Menken and Howard Ashman, Broadway composers. Of course, I knew them, and I actually idolized them. And Howard had actually seen me at Carnegie Hall twice when I did revivals of Oh Boy and Oh Lady Lady they're called turn of the century princess shows, the Jerome Kern, which are actually pre-Showboat. So they're ones that they wanted to revive. So we did it in the old style with no microphones. I did the lead in that and with the orchestra. And I found out after I was cast, Howard said, I have your Showboat recording. I loved you at Carnegie Hall. And I think that helped a lot. But I did audition with 500 other people. And we went through several auditions, and they would close their eyes when you're talking or singing. And it was an interesting process to see. But I found it interesting. I wore the same blue dress for every audition, and they decided that blue would be Belle Blue, which I love. My lucky dress. It's crazy.
I love that story. That's amazing.
I didn't know what we were doing. I knew that it was a cartoon. I didn't know that it was an animated feature. I auditioned for it before Beauty and the Beast came out, but they were in the process of making it, but we didn't know that we were part of this era of, you know, renaissance of Disney animation. We knew about The Little Mermaid, that was a huge hit, but we didn't know that it was going to be like one after the other. And I also didn't know that Robin Williams was in our movie, and I was reading, my first audition, the genie wasn't in. It was the marketplace scene, so no genie. But when I read more of the script for my callbacks, I was like, the genie seems like Robin Williams. And they're like, yeah, that's who it is. So, yeah. Did you know?
I can't remember if I knew or not, to be honest. I was a little nerve-wracking. But it was a long process. Like I auditioned, and then there were like several months before I had a call back. And then there were several months before I got a call that said, you booked it. So I was just.
Ours was different. Ours was right away.
You
But
did?
we knew within 3 weeks. Yeah.
I think they didn't quite know what they were looking for, maybe, and so they were listening. They were just listening.
Wasn't Howard rewriting Aladdin and some of it?
He was
at that point?
rewriting, and
Yeah.
Howard was really my champion on that film.
Of course. Howard Ashman, everyone needs to know this, that
Yeah.
he is truly the hero of the resurgence of Renaissance princesses and these stories. Truthfully, all three of our characters, Jodie, myself, and Linda, all have a lot of Howard in those characters. And with Beauty and the Beast, I know the movie was all his vision. And now and then somebody would object to his vision, but they'd always go back and say, okay, Howard, you were right, we're gonna do it your way. So when the movie came out, it was truly a tribute to his genius.
I love that. Well, thank you for giving us that behind-the-scenes story, and now we'll get it started with the Q&A portion. Hello, what's your name?
Hey guys, my name's Alicia. I'm from Houston, and I'm a college student at San Diego College. That's in Houston, Texas. So, I just have a question. All three of y'all, I love you guys so much. First time, my favorite. And Paige O'Hara, and Paige, my mom, want to say hi. So my question is, what are some good acting skills advice would you give someone majored in fine arts, acting, theater?
I think obviously do your homework. It's amazing to me. You've got to know the classics and where it all came from, and have a wide library and knowledge of all of it. And definitely, study it. And I think if you're going to be acting in it, study the great actors. I learned so much from Katharine Hepburn watching her. I mean, there's so many actresses, that you can learn from. And I did a lot of comedy roles on Broadway, so I would copy. I don't know, you guys wouldn't remember, but Imogene Coca, the Sid Caesar days. There was a great comedian, and I could find her in the library if they had her stuff on tape. But do your homework and be prepared. But then, of course, bring out your own personality to it. But having the knowledge of the work is most important to me. What do you think?
I think that's such a great answer, and we forget about that a lot of time, doing your homework and really knowing the history of what you're doing or the background of it. And also, Paige mentioned being prepared. I was a reader once for someone's auditions. I was surprised how many people came in unprepared. I thought, wow, if there were 50 people who came in, maybe 20 of them came in prepared. And I thought that was shocking, because I thought everyone came in really rehearsed, knowing what they were doing, and it wasn't the case. And I think that alone will give you an advantage walking into the room and auditioning for something. And also, as a performer, the more work that you put into it, the more free you're going to be once you get to that performance.
I would say persistence. You just have to be persistent. You have to know that that's what you want to do. If there's anything else you think you could do, I would say do it. But if that's the only thing you can do, or the only thing you want to do, and you know that that's the only thing you want to do,
Thank you guys.
You're welcome.
Hello.
Hi.
I was wondering, what is y'all's favorite character from each other's movie when it can't be each other?
Our favorite character, like my favorite character from my movie or her movie? Her movie?
It can't be me or Jonathan. Who's your other favorite character?
It's Aladdin. How could it not be? Oh my gosh. He's adorable. Scott was so perfect for the role. Oh my gosh.
I mean, you just handed it to me on a silver platter, but obviously Robbie Benson
Of course.
as the Beast.
Yeah.
I was also a huge Robbie Benson fan as a little kid because he was kind of a big star in the 70s.
He did all those movies like Ice Castles and all those, and he actually wrote them and directed them, most of them. I know, and he's on Severance now, if you guys want to check out Robbie Benson. He's playing a really scary part. I can't even watch it. It's too scary. Yeah.
I taught him to drive.
You taught Robbie how to drive?
Well,
No way! I didn't know this story.
One summer in a parking lot, his mother said, "Go out there and help him before he kills himself."
Because you were doing theater
I'm
with
calling
his
him
mom.
tonight. You're going to razz him on
His
that.
mom His mother was also an actress. Anne, did you know her?
Yeah.
She's lovely, yeah.
Aw,
I still would choose Gaston.
yeah.
I always choose the villain.
Well, Gaston was one of the great villains, for sure.
That's a great question. Thank you so much.
Hello, my name is Tony, and I've got to ask, since Disney has made live action and remakes of the movie, what is your guys' opinion about that?
So we saw the remake of Aladdin together, which was really fun in New York at a special screening. I think that I was surprised how much I enjoyed it because I wasn't sure going in. I have such an attachment to the original and to the animation, and I was like, I don't know how I'm going to feel about this, and I enjoyed it as its own experience. I really felt like I loved what they did with Jasmine. I loved that they expanded her character and she got to be the Sultan one day. That was really a wonderful extension of what we did with Jasmine in 1992. So I loved it for those reasons. There were a couple things that I was like the magic carpet ride. That's better in animation. It just is.
It is, I agree.
Yeah.
Well, what about you, John?
I thought it was we had a good time. I really enjoyed the action adventure segments because we used to refer to Aladdin as an action adventure picture.
Right.
I don't know, maybe it's slightly less romantic than the others or something, but I don't know. I don't know. That film really had the action adventure stuff down. I mean, I loved it. That was
And
really
I actually really enjoyed the live action Beauty and the Beast. And I was sending Emma messages through Don Hahn and back, vice versa. So when I got to meet her on her opening night, they brought me in and all of that. And I met her in person yet, and I saw her. She's about right where you are. And Emma was like, Paige, come on over here, like this. And we chatted and laughed, and she wanted me to take photos with the cast, which was very sweet. But I love the movie. I think it's a little dark. I understand why they went for 13 years old and older because of the violence is pretty intense. I love the fact that she was the inventor. And what made it totally different than mine was that the Beast was an educated adult. So being that, he's much more threatening, whereas my Beast is a juvenile goofball, you know? So Dan Stevens' performance was very intense and Robbie Benson loved it, by the way. It was very interesting to watch. And I love the fact that he never sang before and he sang like that. The new song was great. One thing I didn't like, and Don Hahn agreed with me, is using a gun at the end. I think it should have still been the sword fight thing. I think that took away a lot for me. But other than that, I thought it was pretty wonderful, and Emma's adorable.
Thank you.
Hello,
Hello.
my name is Spencer, and first, I really love all your movies, and thank you so much for being in everyone's childhood. And a question to Johnny Freeman: how would your characters, you boys, Jafar and Stella's dad, how would those two react to each other?
How they react to each other? How they probably try to kill each other. I don't know. They're wonderful characters. I'm having a great time. Those shows are Hell of a Bus and Has Been Hotel. I don't know if you know them. Vivian Madrano is she's fantastic. She's fantastic, and she's done it basically. She started them by herself, both of those projects, and now I think they're going to networks are picking them up and stuff. I loved them.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Hello.
Hello, my name is Michael, and I just want to start off and say that the Renaissance era of Disney was by far my favorite. I mean, I grew up on all the movies, and when I watch them, I feel like a kid again, and I love all you guys. And my question's for Linda and Jonathan. What are some of your favorite memories from filming the movie Aladdin?
Well, one of the best memories. First of all, it was a great company, and I was in the studio most of the time with Gilbert Gottfried because he was always over here, and he was a fantastic actor to work with. We had a great time, and before we started work, and Howard was not available to be in the studio, we were recording the first song. They wrote a song called Humiliate the Boy for Jafar and Iago. And there's a recording, it's the only recording of me playing Iago and also Jafar, because they thought that Iago was going to be something else, like a little butler, something like a proper butler. And then, you know, like if he needed to copy Jasmine's voice, they would just have Linda record it and put it in the parrot's face and, you know, blah, blah. So it's the only recording of me doing both characters, and it was very confusing at the beginning because I didn't know what was going on. And once they hired Gilbert, once they made a decision that that was not going to be it and they hired Gilbert, it was a snap for me. It was so much easier because I felt that I had something to really push against, so did he, and it was a great relationship. I mean, I had a great time with everybody, but we spent a lot of time together. And no matter what anybody tells you, he's a lovely man. Now that he's gone, I can say that. He used to accuse me of trying to ruin his career.
I also got to spend a lot of time with Gilbert, not as much on the original movie, but we did the cartoon series together, and Gilbert and I were the only two actors doing the cartoon series that recorded in New York. So I would have Tuesday afternoons with Gilbert where it would just be me and Gilbert in the recording studio, and it sometimes would take an hour, sometimes it would be 4 hours, but if it was a short day, we'd go for a walk in Central Park afterwards. And when he wasn't on, he was very soft-spoken and really a different persona, but I'm really glad I got to know both sides of his character, and we're still dear friends with Gilbert's wife, Dara, with his children, Lily and Max. Gilbert and I lived 3 blocks away from each other in New York for 25 years, and his wife and children still live there, so I see them all the time. My favorite, oh, go ahead.
My relationship with Gilbert was the longest relationship I've ever had with anybody. I mean, you know, 30 years or however it was, you know.
Also, for me, one of my favorite memories is the day that I got to work in the studio with Scott Weinger and Robin Williams. That was a dream come true for me. It is a day I'll never forget, and it was just so magical.
For me, it was Robbie and Angela Lansbury. I idolized Angela. When I was in New York at 17, I'd sneak into Gypsy. She starred as Mama Rose on Broadway in Gypsy. And they let you do that at intermission. You could kind of hang out in the back. They don't let you do that anymore. So I second acted the show many times and saw Angela Lansbury literally stop the show every single time I saw it. So having the chance to talk with her and talk to her about the character and get to know her, she's an amazing, hilariously funny and very witty woman, and I loved her so much. With Robbie, it was like I met my brother. We knew from the first day we met that we were like old friends, and he was like my brother. So it was, I was the bad girl though. I requested that Robbie and I record together, and they never did that until I asked. And it made it so much more creative because we could ad-lib and play off of each other, and it was more time-consuming and more expensive, but ultimately they started doing that more, and they said it did help with the creativity, especially with a couple that's in love. You know, you want to have that's one-on-one contact. So
Paige is the reason that I got to be in the studio with Robin Williams, because before
I'm a troublemaker.
yes, I quit trouble. Yes.
That's so cool that you got to experience that. We all idolized Robin.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Hello.
There we go.
Hello, guys. It's a lot easier to say. Good to see you guys again. Standing in the presence of Disney royalty, you know, it never gets old. I was hoping, if I'm putting you on the spot, I apologize. Would you guys be able to recite, like, your favorite lines from your respective films, like, in character?
Sure. Go ahead. Oh, Father, Raja was just playing with him. Weren't you, Raja? You were just playing with that overdressed, self-absorbed Prince Ahmed, weren't you?
Gaston, you're positively primeval.
It's time to say goodbye to Prince Abu.
Wow. They made our day for sure. Thank you so much. Hello.
Hi.
My name is Monica, and I wanted to ask, how have your roles in these films impacted your lives? And what has been your biggest inspiration in acting?
Well, it was life changing. I'll be honest with you. You know, we had no idea at that time, but we're all Broadway people. You know, we're lucky to work in the theater, and we're lucky that Disney, particularly Howard and Alan, wanted Broadway actors for these films. If you look at the roster of all of Beauty and the Beast, we were all the main characters were Broadway actors. And so for that, you never know you're going to do something that people will see 20, 30 years from now. So the fact that it's going to live on forever after we're gone is a wonderful, wonderful thing. I mean, I look at now with, you know, the films that I grew up on. To this day, Mary Poppins changed my life, and it is my favorite film still. And what's really cool is I got to not only meet Julie Andrews, but she asked me to hang out with her at Disney World for one day. So I got to spend the day with Julie Andrews, and that was amazing. But the fact that you can, at theater, we can reach out to so many people and do things for charitable reasons, different charities. With these roles and the enormity of these films, the charity work we can do is worldwide, which is really an amazing, wonderful thing. So that part is really special.
It's so many things. It's so hard to answer that question succinctly because it did change our lives in ways that we could have never imagined. And I think it's just been an adventure that continues to unfold. So sitting together here, talking to all of you, traveling together, the friendships that we get to make, new ones, old ones, and really the people that we meet who've connected with the work that we did alone in a studio. And all of you being here and the stories that you share with us, that's part of the adventure.
So special.
It is so special.
Really special.
I don't think you realize, but it really stays with us. These stories become a part of us.
They really do.
So that's been the greatest part about doing this character.
She's right.
Top that.
It really has changed my life in more ways than I could have possibly imagined, as somebody told me before that happened. And just briefly, I've become connected to the autism community through a kid named Owen Susskind, whose father contacted me years ago when I was doing Mary Poppins on Broadway, so this is quite a while ago. But after I'd done the film of Aladdin, but before I'd done it on Broadway. So I got in touch with him for his birthday, first of all, and then I became part of their family and part of their lives for a long time. And his father wrote a terrific book called Life Animated.
And it's an Oscar-winning.
Oh, yes, an
documentary,
Oscar.
animated
and it was
short.
also nominated for an Oscar.
incredible.
There's
Not
a
animated.
documentary.
Yeah, it's
by the same name.
Yeah,
Life
Owen,
Animated.
you will fall in love with him. We took a picture for him yesterday and sent it to him.
Yeah. Oh, did you hear back from him?
Yes, he was so excited.
Oh, good.
He was so excited.
Yeah. So
Owen's story, I'll just tell you, tell him how Owen began to speak. Owen did not talk in the first few years of his life.
yes, this is a kid who didn't speak, and well, he was normal developing until he was 3, and then he fell into autism and he lost speech. He was starting to learn how to use a big boy cup. He had to go backwards, and the only thing that made him happy and kept him at peace was watching Disney animated movies, and he would watch them over and over and over again. And for a long time, there was a school of thought that said, you have to divert your son from doing this because it's going to become an obsession and it's not going to, And they tried to do that. They tried to follow what the common knowledge was at the time, and it wasn't working. And his mother said, and they had to put a lock on the television in order for him. This is maybe all have to know who here knows what a VCR is. Okay.
Okay,
Well,
yeah.
so this,
Yeah, love
what I'm
you.
about to tell you could not have happened before the advent of the VCR, because Owen just was going backward and forward, listening to specific things on all these different movies, and they finally had to. Cornelia, his wife, his mother, took the lock off the TV and said, "I don't care. I can't stand to see my son unhappy. Let him watch the movies for the rest of his life if he wants to." And one day they came into the den where the television was, and he was going backwards and backward and forward in one scene from The Little Mermaid, when Ursula leans forward to Ariel and says, "It won't cost much, just your voice." And he rewound, "Just your voice, just your voice, just your voice, just your voice." And he kept doing it over and over. And when his parents came in to see what was going on, he said, "Just your voice." And they thought he was asking for juice. They were saying juice. He was saying, "Juice your voice." He couldn't quite spit it out. Anyway, the short of it is, they realized he was self-teaching, and Disney became a huge part of his reemergence. And he's, very high functioning, and of course, and he's a brilliant.
But now
kid.
you can't keep him quiet, and he does all of the voices. I mean, really
Yes.
well. He does the men and the women.
Yeah.
He's unbelievable.
He
He's
loves
very.
it.
But his dad started communicating with him by pretending to be you and
Yeah.
Aladdin. He loved Aladdin.
No,
and-
pretending to be Iago.
That's right. Right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. And so now, all of a sudden, he was, verbal completely, like totally.
If you get the movie,
You gotta watch it.
If
It's
you
all
get the
good.
documentary of Life Animated or the book, which is a great read, it'll explain it, perfectly.
But it's great that all the whole circle of it, you're the one that kind of helped with all of that get out in
Yeah.
the forefront.
I also
That's
get
really
I get a
good.
text from him whenever one of the Disney voice people dies.
He does. He takes
keeps
it all
up on
to
all
heart.
the Disney stuff.
He mourns all of them.
Yeah.
He's amazing. He mourned when my sister died. I had no idea he knew that. He's just very sweet,
Yeah.
very sweet
I
soul.
love that story.
See, as you can tell, the adventure of this, it just takes us in
It's so
places we
huge.
never expected to go. That's a great question. Thank you for that.
Great question, thank you. And I was told we have 5 minutes left, so we can try to do like
go
a
fast.
rapid
We'll go
fire.
Hello, my name is Lisa. First of all, you all are fantastic people. How you present yourself, music, stories that you tell. I would like to know what kind of preparation it takes for you to create a brand new song that becomes iconic, that everybody else wants to sing. Everybody else sings the way you sang it. At that point, from then on, what is that process like?
Well, for me, it was Belle is the only character I've ever played where they kept saying, "Paige, don't hide behind whatever it is you're doing. We want you." It was always, to me, it was the hardest thing I ever did. I played the comedy roles. I played Evita. I did, Fantine and all these other characters. But being myself was never something I'd been asked to do. So you kind of feel very vulnerable in that situation. But it was also very fulfilling. And Howard Ashman is the reason that Belle sounds like she is and who she is. And when I hear other people do it, I just love to hear their interpretations. I love hearing all different kinds. I've heard pop Belle, I've heard opera Belle, I've heard all kinds. I've even heard rap Belle. That was good, the rap. Yeah. It's fun. It's all fun.
Thank you so much.
Hello.
Hello.
First off, thank you for telling that story. I've worked with kids on the spectrum, and now I love doing that. That's absolutely amazing. And you guys are all wonderful. But my question is for you, Paige. When you saw that Beauty and the Beast became the first animated film to be nominated for Best Picture, what was your reaction to that? I felt like an animated film at that point crossed the threshold.
Oh, it totally did, and I found out by a phone call from Jeffrey Katzenberg. And he was, I said, "You are kidding me, right?" He said, "No, I'm not kidding you." And he said, "And guess what? You're going to sing on them too." So, and I found out later, he didn't tell me this at first, but I found out that they were asked to use pop stars for me and Richard and Angela Lansbury. And he said you can't have the songs if you don't take the original singers. So he stood up for us on that, and that was really cool. It was a very special moment in history, and it's one that will always be there because of them changing it. So it's very cool. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Hello.
Hi, Bobby Ball here. So I wanted to say that Paige, it's amazing hearing you talk on the microphone because you sound just as like listening to Belle right now.
Thank you.
And I would say all of y'all have amazing voices, but I feel like I want to kind of change up your voices for your characters. So I want to know, how did y'all come up with like the voice for the characters?
Well, mine is my voice. Yes,
I think it's a Howard Ashford thing. Howard likes the princesses to be
their
like
authentic
them.
voices. Yeah.
You
So.
seem a little more sassy though. Like,
Well, I mean, Jasmine really is sassy in the movie.
Just
so-
like Linda.
so,
Linda's
yeah,
very sassy.
I think that all of those components of her really resonate with me, and I think that that's why I really got her and felt like I could take her in all these different directions. But it really just is my voice. The only thing they asked me to do was lower the register of my voice slightly. So naturally I speak or spoke then a little higher, and then we went a little lower with it.
that's so different. Something.
Yeah.
Oh, I was just, how did you find your voice of your character?
Well, you know, I got the text, the script first, and I asked if there was a preliminary drawing of some sort that I could see. And I got a lot of information from the drawing. I think I'm kind of visually oriented anyway, but just seeing the drawing, which was not the Jafar that we all know now, which was Andreas Deja's Jafar, but it was this long-faced drawing. I think John Musker did it. And he had very heavy, sort of opiated eyelids.
that.
And he had a certain, droop to his mouth. And the more that I sort of looked at the picture and worked on the text, the voice sort of just came. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I was told we had 2 minutes.
We can do it.
We can do it. Yeah, just pass the mic back. Yeah, I think we can do that.
I just want to say that my girlfriend wants us to be a big fan of Disney Princess. So my question is for all three of y'all is, would you guys dress up as a character in a Disney movie you guys are in a convention or anywhere in public?
I never dress as my character.
No, I had trouble doing the thing for the Disneyland 2 weeks ago. They were looking at putting ball gowns on me, and Jodie was in a ball gown, and I knew I'd be standing with her. I said, we're not going to fit on the stage. I want a spangly gold dress. So that's what we had. No, not my thing. I don't know. You could have fun in your costume. You wore that costume
Yeah,
on Broadway.
eight times a
Eight
week
times
on
a week on
Broadway, but
Broadway.
I've never worn it out.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi, my question is, raising 3 children, who 2 are interested in getting into the business, what is your advice to the youth? And looking back on your career, what advice would you give to yourself, your young self?
To work hard, for sure, and I think that we all come from that kind of discipline, so working hard does pay off. I think that that is one important thing.
Absolutely. And I think because I've always battled stage fright, and it was really bad the last few years, but I think I would tell myself to forgive myself a little bit, that it's okay if it's not perfect, because I am a hopeless perfectionist, and it's gotten in the way at times. So,
I agree with that.
yeah.
Thank you so much. Hi.
Thank you.
My name is Ariana, and my question is, if you were to be a different Disney character, who would it be?
Belle.
That's so...
I would be Belle. I always say this. I've had this
Belle.
question. I loved Belle since the first time I saw Paige's performance. We were doing Aladdin when
That's right.
Belle came out, when Beauty and the Beast came out, and that has a special place in my heart.
Well, you know I love your character, but I love the ocean, so I'm very partial to Ariel and to Moana. I'm a scuba diver. I've been diving for my whole adult life. I live in the ocean. I love the ocean, so that would be kind of fun. But Moana's pretty darn cool too. She's the reason I kickbox.
What Disney princess would you be?
I would be Jafarina. I would not ever want to be, let me just say this. I don't ever want to be considered to be a Disney princess. I don't ever want to do a Disney princess. It's not interesting to me, and I know that they don't have any fun.
That's
When I
not
went to-
true. Not true.
When I went to work on Aladdin, I just thought, I'll just approach this character like the name of the movie is not Aladdin, it's Jafar.
That's healthy, actually.
Hello.
Do you know, I owe it to Judy Garland singing The Wizard of Oz. Within the same year, I saw Mary Martin as Peter Pan. And then 2 years later, I saw Mary Poppins. And I just fell in love with all three of those women. And luckily, I got to play Peter Pan at the Hollywood Bowl. That was kind of cool. But I just knew right away when I saw those performances that that's what I wanted to do. And we just saw Wizard of Oz at the Sphere. If you guys ever get to Vegas, it is immersive, the most amazing experience. Judy Garland was never better. It's so beautiful.
I want you to have a chance to ask your question.
Okay, so what's your question? Last question.
Hi, my name is Isabella, and my question was, what did you first think your character was going to look like before it happened?
Well, I did also see a sketch of the character early on, and we saw like a 3D model of the character that was not painted. It was just a 3D, like, you know, it looked like a doll kind of on a stand. So I had an idea pretty early on of what the character was going to look like, and I think you said you did as well. And did you too?
Well, actually, the original drawing of Belle was too pretty. She looked kind of like too perfect. She was like Angelina Jolie, chiseled perfect. And they realized that's kind of not approachable. They wanted Belle to be pretty, but they wanted her to be approachable. And so they changed her up and used a lot of different, they had a wall full of all these actors on there. Natalie Wood, Katharine Hepburn, and then at the bottom was my funny picture with all these women. So they took little ideas from others to make her more relatable, I guess is the word. So, but credits to Angelina Jolie. I mean, that's what she looked like. I mean, they definitely used her face in the beginning.
Awesome. Great question. Everyone, thank you
guys
so much. Please give a big
Thank you
round
so
of applause
much. You guys are
to
wonderful.
Paige, Linda, and Jonathan.
Thank you so
much.
much.